Unacademy. Let's crack it.
Hello learners, welcome to Unacademy and the program on essay enrichment. I am Anika Gupta and I will be taking this course. So to begin with, we all know that essay is a very scoring subject. We have seen marks ranging from 80 right up to 140. So why is this? essay के अंदर 80 से लेके 140 तक मार्क्स की वेरिएशन क्यों है? No matter how hard we try, we have not seen 140 marks in the GS paper. So what this means, essay is a low hanging fruit. essay में बहुत आराम से marks आ सकते हैं. So what is the essay paper? In the exam, we will be given two sections, A and B, with 4 topics each. So it has 2 sections with 4 essays each. We have to write one essay from each section. That is, we will be given a section A, section B, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Similarly, 1, 2, 3 and 4. It is up to us which topic do we choose. We can choose any out of these 4, similarly any out of these 4. It is as per our strength and the strong point, जिस पे हमें ज़्यादा points आते हैं, हम वो वाला topic दोनों sections में से choose करेंगे. Then what is there is, each essay is 125 marks and total marks is 250. So 125 marks for essay in section A, 125 marks for essay in section B. Total 250 marks with a word limit of 1000 to 1200 words per essay. This word limit is per essay. So it is for section A as well as section B. So what do we have? हमारे पास एक essay का paper होगा जिसमें 2 sections, 4 topics per section. You can write an essay on any topic whatsoever. Of course, जो आपकी list में दिया हुआ है, topic का नाम ऊपर clearly लिखेंगे and we will write the essay. How do we choose a topic is a discussion for some other class. लेकिन overall this is what the essay paper is. Each essay is 125 marks, total 250 marks, 1000 to 1200 words. Now, the surprising thing is that essay के लिए बहुत सारी चीजें सुनते हैं. Essay paper should be like this, it should be that, there should be dimensions, big paragraphs, long paragraphs, headings. But has UPSC given any of those guidelines? No. So there is a syllabus which UPSC has given, and the syllabus is here. This syllabus is mentioned in the notification itself, and the syllabus says candidates may be required to write essay on multiple topics. We've already seen that we have to write 2 essays, 1000 to 1200 words each. They will be expected to keep closely to the subject of the essay, to arrange their ideas in orderly fashion and to write concisely. Credit will be given for effective and exact expression, that is prabhavi and sateek abhivyakti. So they will be expected to keep closely to the subject. These are the guidelines which UPSC itself has given and we have probably not seen them. What is meant by keep closely to the subject? Just like a GS mains answer, it is expected that you should write on the given topic. So your essay, of course, has to be contextually aligned to the given topic. Keep closely to the subject. This is the first guideline. Second guideline is to arrange their ideas in orderly fashion. So you have to arrange your ideas in a structured manner. Now, why is this? Let us say you get selected. You're going to write a report. Your report has to be organized. It cannot be that you're jumping from point 1 to point 3 and then you come back to point 2. This is something which will not be allowed in your report. It is not expected of you. So you have to arrange your ideas in orderly fashion. So 1 leads to 2, leads to 3. This is what will be expected in your essay. And to write concisely. अगर कोई एक ऐसा part है which can be written in 1 paragraph, if you can write an idea or some example in 1 paragraph, do not write it in 4. Do not write it in 4 paragraphs. This is what is meant. Please be concise and to the point. Looking at the syllabus in Hindi, उम्मीदवारों को कई विषयों पर निबंध लिखने की आवश्यकता हो सकती है. उनसे अपेक्षा की जाएगी कि वो अपने विचारों को क्रमबद्ध तरीके से व्यवस्थित करें, संक्षेप में लिखें, शॉर्ट में, टू द पॉइंट. As I've already explained, संक्षेप में लिखने के लिए निबंध के विषय पर बारीकी से ध्यान दें. So you have to focus on the topic of the essay. प्रभावी एवं सटीक अभिव्यक्ति को श्रेय दिया जाएगा. Now to understand what are the topics, we all hear कि there is a shift towards philosophical topics, but is that so? क्या philosophical topics की तरफ सच में shift हुआ है? We should observe this ourselves. So how do we do that? We take a look at 2022, 2021 and 2020 के papers, essay के topics, what was actually being asked. And this will help us understand what is meant by a philosophical topic and क्या philosophical की तरफ सच में shift हुआ है कि नहीं. 2022, this is the topics which were there in the exam. What are the topics? First, forests are the best case studies for economic excellence. So this is just a random statement, as we can see. It is a statement on forests are the best case studies for economic excellence. This also highlights what is expected in the essay. You are expected to understand and write कि आपने इसका क्या मतलब निकाला. Whatever you assume this to mean or what is your take from this topic, you will write in the essay paper. Second, poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. Poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. This is again a philosophical topic because this statement can have different meanings for different people. And this is very unlike a GS exam. In the GS paper, we are given a question. This is what a GS paper looks like. There is a question on the top with a very specific objective. And हर student के लिए, हर aspirant के लिए उस topic का एक ही मतलब है या उस प्रश्न का, उस question का एक ही मतलब है. This is not the case in essay. For in essay, I can take poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world to mean something else. आपका कुछ और मतलब होगा आपके लिए. Your examples will be different from my examples, and this is why essay becomes a little challenging, and this is why there is so much score variation, right from 180 to 140. There have been students जिन्होंने 172 तक score किया है, not just 140, 170. So history is a series of victories won by the scientific man over the romantic man. So the keyword is history. It's a series of victories won by the scientific man over the romantic man. Fourth, a ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ship is for. So one of the key words in this topic is ship. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ship is for. So what is this? This is about risk taking. This topic is about risk taking. How do you take risks? या फिर courage, and it can have both positive and negative connotation. तो ये ऐसे हुआ एक risk पर, लेकिन किसी और aspirant के लिए इसका कुछ और मतलब भी हो सकता था. Section B, the time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. So this is kind of a stitch in time saves 9. कि आपको सही समय पे आप एक्शन लीजिए when the sun is shining. बारिश हो गई तो रूफ को रिपेयर कैसे करेंगे, या फिर जो नुकसान होगा वो अलग होगा. So it can have multiple meanings. You cannot step twice in the same river. It's a quote. It's a quotation. Hence philosophical essays. A smile is the chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. Just because you have a choice, it does not mean that any of them has to be right. Just because you have a choice does not mean that any of them has to be right. Now we see that both parts of the essay, both sections have philosophical themes. These are quotes. So this is why it is being said that essay topics have shifted towards philosophical. But you also notice that they are also closer to your GS syllabus. It's up to us how we interpret them. अब हम देखते हैं 2021 के टॉपिक्स. 2021 में section A, the process of self discovery has now been technologically outsourced. If you notice, यहाँ पर भी scientific की बात हुई थी third में. History is a series of victories won by the scientific man. Similarly, the process of self-discovery has now been technologically outsourced. Your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reaction to you is an awareness of me. This is also a quotation. Philosophy of wantlessness is utopian, while materialism is a chimera. In this topic, most aspirants also struggled with the meaning of the word utopian and chimera. Philosophy of wantlessness is utopian, while materialism is a chimera. The real is rational and the rational is real. What do we notice? Have you noticed that every quotation, every topic has been divided into two? There is always a dividing line in every topic, in almost all topics. Section B, hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. What is research but a blind date with knowledge? Again, slightly scientific. What is research? History repeats itself. This was also the keyword, first keyword in the previous 2022 ka paper. History repeats itself. First is a tragedy, second as a farce. There are better practices to best practices. This is one of the common themes which UPSC has picked in its essays. Take a look at the last. Just because you have a choice, it does not mean any of them has to be right. There are better practices to best practices. And simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. So, बहुत सारे points we will discuss how can be correlated between these topics. Now, life is long journey between human being and being human. Mindful manifesto is the catalyst toward tranquil self. Ships do not sink. So, हमने सबसे पहले 2022 के पेपर में भी देखा था, ship से related कुछ topic था. It does not mean it's a theme या ऐसा कुछ UPSC follow कर रहा है, but कुछ हमें idea भी लगता है कि हम ऐसा नहीं है that topic जो essay में आएगा is from something we've not expected. आप बहुत सारे essays अगर structure कर रहे हैं, you have understood them, you will be able to understand the theme, the topic and write an essay. Ships do not sink because of water around them. Ships sink because of water that gets into them. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Culture is what we are. Civilization is what we have. Look at this question. Just give me a second. So, where were we? We were culture is what we are, civilization is what we have. There can be no social justice without economic prosperity, but economic prosperity without social justice is meaningless. So on and so forth. There is again a topic on technology as a silent factor in international relations. Now, this essay, the last topic, is a topic which was closer to our GS syllabus, and this is why it was a 2020 paper. इसीलिए अब हम कहते हैं कि हमारे essay के topics shift हो गए हैं and they have moved towards philosophical essays. Now we will study how do we write an essay in the exam. But before that, if you have any feedback, please feel free to message, to share your feedback in the chat. Writing essay in the exam. Now the next topic is how do we write essay in the exam. So one of the most important factors for writing an essay is structuring it. In the exam, we have 3 hours total to write our essay. We have a total of 3 hours to write 2 essays. This implies it is 1.5 hour into 2. So we have 1.5 hour to write 1000 to 1200 words. 1000 to 1200 words. Now, one common approach is कि हमने सीधा topic पढ़ा, सोचा और लिखना शुरू कर दिया. There is no structuring. 5-10 minutes सोच लिया, maximum you'll start thinking, you'll think for 5 minutes and you'll start writing. This is not an ideal approach. Why? Because one of the aspects in your syllabus said you have to arrange your ideas in an orderly fashion. If we just think and we start writing, let us say you were writing something about the Indian freedom struggle, वहां से examples ले रहे थे, आपने example लिया 1857 का, and then you example लिया 1857 का, और वहां से आप डायरेक्टली चले गए क्विट इंडिया मूवमेंट में, बट देन यू रियलाइज ओ बीच में हमारा शायद चंपारण वॉज अ वेरी रेलेवेंट एग्जाम्पल. नाउ हाउ डू वी पुट इट? क्या हम वापस जाके कुछ इरेज कर सकते हैं? नहीं कर सकते. essay is around 8 to 10 pages of text, so your thoughts have to be organized and that can be done in a structure. So how do we do that? Let's take a look. So to make a structure we have to think for 30 minutes. आप जब भी अपना essay बनाएंगे या essay लिखना शुरू करेंगे, टाइमर स्टार्ट होता है, you will take 30 minutes to write to think, because your structure is going to be the foundation of your essay and the building is as strong as its foundation. Same applies to the essay. जितना आपने 30 minutes में अच्छे से सोचा और लिखा, ये आपको एक organized manner, structure, concise, हर चीज में help करेगा. Your examples will not get repeated and so on and so forth. So we make a structure in these 30 minutes. Why? Because it helps you ensure that you don't forget anything. As I've just highlighted, कि आपको example भूल गया, बाद में लगेगा अरे यहाँ पे तो ये example लग रहा था, मैं काश लिख देता. But when you are writing 8 to 10 pages, that is not an option. So we make a structure for 30 minutes. Then it will ensure a flow of ideas. As I've just said, what does a structure look like? A structure is the foundation. So you can put your idea number 1, idea number 2, idea number 3. मान लेते हैं इस order में आए. लेकिन आपको लग रहा है कि जब मैं इस बारे में इस विषय पे बात कर रहा था, when I'm mentioning this in my essay, it makes sense to mention probably this and then this. ये flow अच्छा बन रहा है, तो we will do that. But ये हम कब कर पाएंगे? When we have made a good structure. It will help you organize your thoughts in a orderly fashion, which was also the syllabus. So there will be a flow of ideas. Balance between pros and cons, positive, negative. Again, अगर आप अपना structure देखेंगे तो आप बता पाएंगे कि क्या आपका structure किसी एक तरफ झुक गया है, क्या आपने एक balanced essay लिखा है. Just like we write balanced answers in GS. GS में हम कभी भी बहुत एक ही तरफ negative answers नहीं लिखते. We write a balanced answer. Similarly, you have to write a balanced essay. क्या हम बहुत नेगेटिव हो गए, बहुत ज़्यादा पॉजिटिव हो गए, पूरे टॉपिक को कंसिडर कर रहे हैं कि नहीं? इज द एंटायर टॉपिक बीइंग कवर्ड? दिस इज एंश्योर्ड विद द हेल्प ऑफ अ गुड स्ट्रक्चर. देन व्हाट एल्स डू वी डू इन राइटिंग एन एसे? In writing an essay, we will use quotes, data, anecdotes, references, which is बहुत सारे उदाहरण लीजिए, डेटा यूज कीजिए. डेटा के बाद आप बहुत सारे संदर्भ, फॉर एग्जाम्पल लोग पूछते हैं एनेक्डोट्स क्या है. एनेक्डोट कैन बी एनी स्टोरी विच यू कैन मेक. It can be anecdote, can be a real story, a real incident which you have seen. It can be from the life of a famous person, of an IAS officer. It could be any famous incident or an incident which you have seen. Basically, anecdote एक व्याख्या है. So we can use anecdotes, we can use quotes, data, references in our essay. And this is very important because it helps us in bringing out our point. So what will this do? So this point, using of quotes, data, anecdotes will help us in highlighting what we are trying to say. Next, we can open our dimensions. We've heard very commonly, dimensions is the buzzword in essay paper. Dimensions in terms of pest analysis probably. हम सब सुनते हैं अक्सर pest analysis, political, economic, social and technological. ये भी एक aspect है. वैसे तो पेस्टल भी होता है जिसमें L is legal. So pestal analysis कर सकते हैं. Otherwise you can mention dimensions in the form of economic, social, global, as well as dimensions of the topic. If you notice, what I've underlined is dimensions of the topic. And this is going to be the most important part. We will discuss in future classes, in further classes, what is meant by dimensions of the topic. बट अभी के लिए इतना समझते हैं, ये पहली क्लास है, कि हमारा एस्से का मतलब क्या है. एस्से का टॉपिक देखा और उसके बारे में सोचा कि मैं इसमें क्या क्या डायमेंशन लेके आ सकता हूँ. ये सारी डिमेंशंस, इकोनॉमिक, सोशल, ग्लोबल, ये सारे हमारे जीएस के सिलेबस के आसपास हैं. दे आर ऑल रिलेटेड टू आवर सिलेबस. हैविंग रेड करंट अफेयर्स फॉर अ ईयर, having read all the NCRTs, the mains ka syllabus, we have enough examples. We just have to be able to bring them out in the context of the topic being given to us. Now, after this, what are the must-dos? So, a very common thought is कि ये एक टॉपिक चूज करते हैं जो किसी ने नहीं लिखा होगा. I will not pick a topic. मान लेते हैं we have 4 topics. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 topics. आपको ऐसा लग रहा है that second topic is very common. सब इसी पे लिखेंगे. तो मैं इस पे नहीं लिखता. I will write on topic number 4. That is not a good strategy. Just because everyone's writing on the second topic or you have that feeling कि second topic easy है, तो मैं 4th पे लिखता हूँ, is not a good strategy. Why? Because one strong essay, an essay which has very good points, which was your essay number 2, topic number 2, versus a weak essay with less understanding, but किसी ने नहीं लिखा, is not, what do we want? We want a strong essay. Even if सबने लिखा है, तो क्या हमारा essay हमारे examples की मदद से बदल पाएगा? ज़्यादा अच्छा लिख पाएगा? There is a possibility. But if you write a weak essay, it is going to be an average essay right from the moment you write it. So do not choose a topic based on सब इस पे लिख रहे हैं, सब इस पे लिख रहे हैं, लेकिन हमें क्या आता है, हमारी कोर स्ट्रेंथ क्या है, हमें कौन सा टॉपिक ज्यादा कंफर्टेबल लग रहा है. This should be the reasons why we choose a topic. So what I've written, choosing the topic as per your core strength, as per what you feel is your core, मूल ताकत. Holistic understanding होनी चाहिए. Examples and keywords are important in an essay. How do we include them? We will look for this in the further classes. Now, next is essay structure. So, we've already discussed that structure is important. Why is it important? Because it helps in maintaining flow. It's important to structure our thoughts, and it's the foundation of the essay. The way there is a foundation of a building, there is a foundation of the essay. तो पहले के 30 minutes हम essay के foundation को देंगे. With practice, this time will come down to 20 minutes and we'll take 1 hour to write the essay. Then must-dos is also you connect to the topic. What is that? If you remember the syllabus, keep closely to the subject of the topic. Topic के इर्द-गिर्द आपका essay होना चाहिए. I can give you an example. For example, there is a topic, sustainable development is the peace policy of the future. Let's write this topic. The topic is sustainable development is the peace policy of the future. Now, there can be students, I want you to pause for a few seconds and first think on this topic. Please pause the video, think on this topic कि आपको अगर ये topic दिया जाएगा तो what will you write? Now, when you come back, there can be two options. First, sustainable development तो GS में बहुत सुना है. Sustainable development पे हर कोई बात कर रहा है तो हम अपना ऐसे sustainable development पे लिख देते हैं. This is one option. So, sustainable development. इस पे हम एक ऐसे लिख सकते हैं. But is that the topic? No. That is only 2 words from the topic, the keywords. But the topic is asked sustainable development in the context of future. Is the peace policy of the future. तो हमें sustainable development किस तरह से peace policy है या नहीं है, इस पर ऐसे लिखना है. This is the aim of this particular topic. It's not sustainable development. And you will be surprised to know that actually students will write on sustainable development. What are the challenges to sustainable development? How do we ensure sustainable development? Environment के context में, disaster के context में, और फिर हम अपने बहुत सारे environment के examples देंगे, international conventions देंगे. But that is not the topic. The topic is asking for arguments in the context of sustainable development being the peace policy of the future. Okay? So we will discuss more on this, on how to understand the topic in the आगे की classes. Now, so what the point we were doing was, we have to connect to the topic. So we have to connect to the entire topic and not just the keyword. Just one keyword which we were familiar with due to our GS preparation. So we have to connect to the entire topic. Now remember the purpose of the exam. Why have I written this? Remember the purpose of the exam. ये क्यों जरूरी है? Purpose. हम एग्जाम लिख रहे हैं to be an IAS officer. सबको उम्मीद तो यही है कि हम top 10 में आएंगे. Everybody is preparing for the top 10 या top 100 and become an IAS officer. When you become an IAS officer, you'll be expected to believe in the masses. आपके पास एक पूरी district का charge होगा. And there will be 500 people looking up to you. So this means you have to be positive and you have to believe in them. You cannot be overcritical in the essay. It's very easy to find mistakes. जैसे for example, अगर हम यही topic लें, sustainable development, तो या फिर higher education, let's say higher education का एक topic था, तो हम कह सकते हैं इंडिया के पास तो higher education ही नहीं है. हम लोग तो बिल्कुल नहीं, हमारा बहुत ड्रॉप आउट रेट है, टॉप 500 में यूनिवर्सिटीज नहीं है. बट इज दैट द एम ऑफ दिस एसे? इज दैट व्हाट यू विल से और व्हाट यू फील व्हेन यू बिकम एन ऑफिसर? अगर इंडिया का ये स्टेटस होता तो वी वुड नॉट हैव हैड सक्सेसफुल मंगलयान. वी स्टिल टॉक अबाउट ब्रेन ड्रेन. सो वी हैव ब्रेन ड्रेन. तो हम उसकी बात क्यों कर रहे थे? पॉइंट बीइंग, what is the purpose of the exam? The purpose is that you are going to be an IAS officer. So please be positive and be a person who believes in the masses. Be critical, but do not lose hope. Your essay should show hope. It should show that you are a solution-oriented person. If facing a situation, you will find a solution. You will innovate a solution. You should have a stand. This is what the essay is going to be about. So, सकारात्मक रहें और ऐसा व्यक्ति जो जनता में विश्वास रखता हो. And of course, we are going to connect our essay with the help of examples, with the help of references, with the GS syllabus. So, these are few must-dos in the essay paper. Now, what is the language to be used? Some people say, जब marks 80 से लेके 170 तक वेरी करते हैं, This is a difference of 90 marks. तो लोग कहते हैं कि ये 90 marks का difference merely because of vocabulary है. मेरी English अच्छी नहीं है तो मेरे essay में marks कभी अच्छे नहीं आएंगे. This is not true. What is needed? You write in simple English, but be fluent. Have good grammar. You do not need rich vocabulary. वो जो rich vocabulary and keywords हम पढ़ते हैं वो GRE में पढ़ते हैं, GRE का exam के लिए. This is an essay paper. It is for aspirants from all sections of the society. And what is expected is simple English but fluent English. Simple English, small crisp sentences, small paragraphs, formal language and not casual. So there was this essay which I evaluated. The essay starts with the story. I and my father were going. My father reached the market. My father said. So this is very casual. It's narrating, but it's not formal. It can be more crisp. I hope you understand what I'm trying to highlight. So use formal language, but not casual language, small paragraphs and small crisp sentences. It's very important to avoid grammatical errors, because if there are grammatical errors in your essay, it's going to lead to breaks. So the examiner halts in between. रुक जाते हैं बार बार ऐसे पढ़ते हुए तो फ्लो टूटता है. आपने ऐसे में फ्लो मेंटेन किया है, एक थॉट बहुत सीमलेसली अगले आइडिया पे लेके जा रहा है, बट if there are grammatical errors, the flow of the examiner will break. He'll try to understand what is being written. He'll try to correct it again and again. which is not a very good idea. It's not good. Then actually there are students who write essays in the form of diagrams and bullet points. We have 4 GS papers. We have GS and optional papers for making diagrams and making bullet points. So essay is written as an essay. It is not written in bullet points. I repeat, simple English, small crisp sentences, small paragraphs. I give you an example. There are 2 essays in front of you. Even in GS actually, it is suggested to write small crisp bullet points. There is one student who starts writing and वो पूरा उसने लिख दिया, 1 paragraph. There is another who writes 1, 2, 3. Which looks better? The second essay. Small paragraphs, easier to read, easier to understand, with proper underlining, simple English, makes the task of the examiner easy. This is what we are going to, the language which we are going to use in the essay. It does not imply high vocabulary or flowery words. You use too high vocabulary, the word might not be suited there. You'll end up losing marks. So do not try to fake it. Use the language which you are comfortable with. Even if it is simple English, marks में ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. It has to be grammatically correct is the aim. And analyze the topics given. So there is an apparent shift to philosophical topics. However, these are in the perspective of GS syllabus, as we have already seen. We've already seen that the topics were in the favor of, were similar to GS. Of course, the examples should support the analysis. We've spoken about examples. Here we have mentioned that we can use data. We can use case studies. We can give examples of books, references from books, movies. All of this is possible, but this should be supporting your point. It should not be random, of course. And it should not blindly reiterate the topic. Please see, it is in, I have highlighted it. A dimension does not mean you read the topic, you give 10 examples, hence proved after every example, essay complete. This is not the aim. Essay is asking you to generate a discussion. How to do that? We will look at it. But to begin with, we'll just focus on your essay should not just repeat the topic. Your essay should generate a discussion. It should give your viewpoint. This is what the essay is going to be about. So, we can discuss an essay on sustainable development is the peace policy for the future. We've already seen how this essay should not just be about sustainable development. It should be sustainable development in the context of peace policy. How? One of the dimensions we could cover would be sustainable development. If there is sustainable development, nations can probably collaborate. It is important in today's time with globalization, with pollution, with overuse of resources. So it's important for sustainable development across countries, everywhere in the world. And when this happens, there's going to be peace. Peace shall prevail. Otherwise, one country lacks resources, it goes to war. So, peace policy for the future. There can be several dimensions to this, but this is just an example of how do we think in the exam. We don't write on sustainable development only, we write on sustainable development in the context of peace policy for the future. And with this, thank you. I will meet you in the next session with the common mistakes which we make in the essay paper. Also, please feel free to give your feedback, any topics you want to discuss, any key ideas you have in the comment section. Thank you.